Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both in podcast, wherever you get great podcasts. See, that's an edit already.
So you can do it.
And on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So, I'd like to introduce today's guest. It's Zach Eisendrath. Zach, morning.
Thanks for having me.
So, for the sake of transparency, Zach lives here in the building with me. But he has a much easier commute than I do because he's on the third floor and I'm all the way up on the sixth floor.
Yep.
So he gets here a lot quicker than I do. So people always ask, so how do you get guests on your show? And so last week I saw Zach by the elevator and said, "Hey, you want to be on the show?" He says, "Sure." So that's how I do it. Pretty simple. Anyway, so but the reason I did want to have Zach on the show is that he was most recently put on the Milwaukee Business Journal's 40 Under 40 list, which is pretty nice honor to be part of, the next generation trying to affect change here in the city. So we'll talk about what you're currently doing and 40 Under 40 in just a minute. But I want to start where we usually start in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're born and raised here in Milwaukee.
Correct. Yep.
So talk about your early years and how that helped set the stage for the person that you've become.
Sure. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. Like you said, went to Nicolay High School in Glendale, a suburb about 15 minutes from downtown. Had a terrific childhood. Only child, great parents, but very close to my family. My cousins, big, my mom's one of 5 sisters, so it felt like I always had brothers running around when I was growing up. And really developed a strong passion for sports growing up. My early memories of the 1990s Milwaukee Bucks, the Green Bay Packers when they were in the Super Bowl, those were formative years for me and developed a strong passion for sports, which I carried into my professional life.
So that leads to, you ended up going to college at University of Minnesota.
Correct.
And that's where you got your first real taste of major college athletics.
Yep.
So I know you wrote for the school newspaper, what was the name of it?
Yeah, it was the Minnesota Daily, and really I knew I just wanted to be involved in sports, but wasn't sure how do I get into sports without being an athlete.
Right.
So I said, hey, whatever job I can do. So I was writing about women's hockey and tennis and then eventually the bigger sports, football and basketball, and it led to an internship with the Minnesota Timberwolves while I was there, which exposed me to life in like the big leagues, developing, what's it like working for a team, not as a sports anchor covering a team, and that developed my passion really for, hey, I want to work in a front office someday in sports.
And so, and I think you also had an internship with the Big Ten Network right as they were getting started.
The first year that the Big Ten Network started, it was like I was one of their first interns probably ever, which was pretty cool.
It wasn't that, I think they were maybe the first, maybe the SEC, but the Big Ten and the SEC were the first 2 conferences to really have their own channel and their own network to get their own money, so they didn't have to kowtow down to the NCAA.
It was the first one, I think, of our kind, and they were ahead of the curve for sure. But it was controversial at the time because everybody had cable, and you couldn't get half the games. Just like we're struggling with right now with all these Amazon and different features. But yeah, they were really ahead of their time with the Big Ten Network, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm a University of Maryland grad, and I have the single team plan, so I get to watch all the Maryland whatever.
What do you think right now of the football program with Coach Loxley?
Football's okay, and they're always going to be mid-tier.
Yep.
They're not going to beat Ohio State and Michigan, but they're going to beat Rutgers and Northwestern, and they're going to be kind of in the middle, which is okay. They'll go to a bowl game, but they're never going to. Ohio State's not going to be threatened.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, those Maryland basketball teams in the early 2000s really had an effect on my career, too, when they had Juan Dixon and Lonnie Paxter and went to the Final Four. One of my favorite teams of all time.
2002, they won the championship.
Unbelievable.
So after graduation, you end up traversing out to Denver.
Yeah.
And you work for the Broncos, which is the football team out there.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, and then I think you ended up going back to college at the Mid Mountain West Conference.
Yep.
So you worked in the administration of that, and then finally ending up at the University of Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. So talk about those years.
Yeah, really unique opportunities. First, I thought I was just going to stay in Minnesota, work for the Timberwolves out of college, and one of my college roommates encouraged me to throw my hat in the ring for a Denver Broncos position. And I don't know anything outside of having a little family in Denver. I'm like, they don't know me. 300 people are applying for this. What do I know? And somehow, some way, landed that gig, and that really changed my life because it really exposed me to the NFL top level, how a professional organization runs at the very top. You know, the historic history, of course, and that opened up so many doors for me. So I did that. It was kind of a college grad position for a year,
Right.
And then I had stayed in touch with the commissioner of the Mountain West. I had met him randomly while I was in college. Just was networking with him, and he had an opportunity to work in the commissioner's office. So that was really working for a commissioner, learning how to do basketball tournaments, football championship games, conference realignment, compliance, everything in major college athletics. It was a great experience, but I wanted to work for a team again. And that's how I ended up at the University of Michigan working for the football team there. I was searching for a team to work for, and Michigan came calling, and that changed my life, that role with Jim Harbaugh.
I'm sure that opened up a lot of doors because that's top of the top. So you at some point, I think after Michigan, you were involved with Big Game Air.
Yeah.
So were you a principal there? What was your...
Yeah, I was their first employee. It was truly a startup. I think they were funded by a private donor, and that role was a concept of same-day private flights to top-notch sporting events, there and back. So we flew to the Kentucky Derby, got off the plane, went to the Derby, flew back right after. Super Bowl, same thing.
Right.
Big college basketball games, same concept. And you only would buy a single seat on the plane instead of buying a private charter, which is obviously very expensive. It was a unique opportunity for me. You know, I worked in college athletics. I was at Michigan for 5 years. Working for Jim Harbaugh was unbelievable, but it was a 24/7 gig. I was on call 24/7. I was working 7 days a week. A Michigan alum came to me with an opportunity to live in Chicago, which I always wanted to do, beautiful city, and to work a lot less and get paid more to help him start this company. So while it was still in the sports realm, it wasn't my passion for life, but it was an unbelievable experience, and it led me in the direction to come back here and get more involved in sports again.
So that's where I wanted to. So you did move back here to your hometown, to Milwaukee. So talk a little bit about the work that you're doing now, and the things that are being done to try to affect change in the community. Because that's kind of the purpose of why we do these shows. We like to spotlight people and groups that are trying to make our city a better place.
Absolutely. Well, we could be doing this show in New Orleans right now. I should tell you a funny story of how I ended up here. I really wanted to get back into sports, and I had reached out to Sean Payton, who was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints at the time. I had developed a relationship with him, and he offered me a job as his director of football operations with the Saints, which is a pretty big gig. I went to Indianapolis, where they have the NFL Combine, and I interviewed with the GM, and he said, "Hey, you got the job. Let us sign some free agents. We'll fly you out here." And I was looking at apartments in New Orleans. And one day I get a call from a mutual friend of our the co-owner that I work for right now, the owner of our company, saying, "Hey, Jim Kacmarcik, who's my boss, has a unique position he's creating. Would you be interested in listening?" And I said, "I already accepted this job, but I will always listen to anything." And we hit it off. I came down to Milwaukee. I think it was probably the Elite Eight or Final Four Saturday around the NCAA tournament, and instantly hit it off with him. He's a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, and he has a family of companies in the sports, entertainment, industrial, and philanthropic sectors. 12 organizations make up our portfolio, and really he wanted somebody who could build relationships across the portfolio, maintain them, create new opportunities for the portfolio of companies. And when he started talking about what he all is about, sports first, minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, big into soccer, actually bringing a soccer team to Milwaukee, which we can talk about for sure, and a whole district, kind of like the Deer District, he's bringing to Milwaukee. And then he's got a huge heart for philanthropy. He runs Camp Hometown Heroes, which is a pretty well-known free summer camp for kids who've lost parents in the military, does one of the largest toy drives in our community during the holiday season. When I learned about his passion for sports, his passion for helping people, that's what I'm all about as a person, and it was a perfect mix. So I ended up calling the Saints back and saying, "I'm so sorry, but got a great opportunity to be a vice president here back in my hometown and help our community." And that's how I got back here.
Well, this is completely happenstance, but I'm going to New Orleans.
No way.
My wife has a conference there Tuesday. And so I'm going to go down on Thursday after she's done all the work, and we're going to spend through the weekend. So she's retiring, so I'm going to glom onto one of these trips that she's
absolutely
she's going to take this year.
Well, have fun. It's Mardi Gras was just happened, right? Yeah.
That's right. So this is cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. So we're going to do a little cooking. So Zach and I talked a little bit earlier, and this is usually the place I say, so what are we making today? And then we talked. I said, so Zach, what are you a cook? And he goes, not really. No. So as my channel is Cooking Secrets for Men, I've learned a lot of shortcuts over time, things that I did when I was working, but still taking the main person taking care of my kids and teaching them to cook for themselves. So what we're going to do, we decided, is we're going to doctor a frozen pizza. And this is, again, completely happenstance, but the pizza place right next door to us, Riverfront Pizzeria, just closed earlier this week on just a few days ago. So, Zach, if this goes well, this might be your next gig.
I'm open for it. Let's do it.
We'll sell frozen doctored pizzas over out the door at Riverfront's Pizzeria. So, anyway, let's we got the oven heating, so we're going to walk over and we'll show you how we doctor a pizza. Give us a minute. We'll be right back. All right, we're here with Zach over at the stove. So first thing we're going to do is we've heated some oil, not a lot, because we've got some sausage, and this is onions and peppers in here. Trust me. Onions and red pepper down there, and then we got a little garlic. So this is the way that we do it. So we got the frozen pizzas over there that are Jack's, and then we're going to let's put the sausage in first, and then you just throw it all in.
Just throw it all in.
Yeah.
Easy.
All right. So.
All right.
And what are we on, temperature-wise?
Oh.
Let's turn it on medium. Okay. Yeah, so just got to break that up a little bit. Just pound it down, and you want it
separate it a little bit.
Yeah, when it's separated, because you don't want to have a big hunk of.
Oh
yeah. And then just after it cooks for a little while, we'll turn it over. Then we'll throw in the onions and the peppers, because we don't need it to cook because it's going to cook in the oven.
Right.
So this is just very simple. We take something that somebody's already made, which is a frozen pizza. They've already done the hard work. So we're just adding some toppings. Some people like mushrooms, but the key is not a lot of oil, because you can see already it's starting to do it. Yeah. All right. So you turn it over, and once it gets a little brown, then we'll put the onions in to the side.
Throw them all in?
Yeah.
Peppers too?
Sure. Get all. And then we'll just, and this all just kind of fry together. We don't need to cook it all the way, but you want to get a little heat on it, it'll soften up. And one thing we'll do is we'll add some garlic. Yeah. So this is, again, yeah. So, a little bit on. Yeah. No such thing as too much garlic, Zach.
All right.
There we go. And you want to, so garlic will burn, so we don't want it to get too much. We want to keep going the meat so you get rid of the pink. That's what we're looking for.
Gotcha.
And this is Italian sausage. You can use any kind of sausage you want. This is sweet Italian sausage. I would not use the hot, because we have hot peppers on the table. So all right, so Zach, is there anything that you do cook?
Eggs.
All right.
I'm decent at eggs. Yeah, big.
Grilling?
You know what? I try, but I'm not the best.
Okay.
Not the best griller. So this is good for me. I need to learn.
All right. So we're gonna. They look like we're about. See, the onions have softened.
Yep.
The peppers have softened, and looks like we've gotten rid of most of the pink on the sausage. So we're going to get the pizzas over here. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and so what we'll do is Zach wants to turn the heat off.
Okay.
Right here, all the way the other way. All right, so we got the heat off, but we're still pan's still a little warm. So let's we got our frozen pizzas over here. So why don't you move the pepperoni so they look
pepperonis a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I
there's
do it with my hand?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll just make it look pretty, because we were storing them in our auxiliary freezer, which it's 12 degrees here, so they're outside. And I'll do this one over here. And so as you can see, it's got a lot of cheese, but I don't know what. So what we'll do is, once you grab one of the black spoons, the slotted spoon, and the reason the slotted spoon is because you'll get rid of some of the grease. Okay. So we're just going to take, and we'll do it on both. And so what we're trying to do is get a little more flavor. And what we'll do is we'll do two things. Yeah, just kind of spread it out, and we'll do them on both. So we're feeding a crowd today. I think we've got, I don't know. Well, the one pizza's for me and Zach, and the other pizza's for the other people.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. And then, of course, Zach, I don't know, but we might have to have a beer with her.
Hey, that sounds great on a Saturday.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, perfect.
Who knew?
Who needs coffee?
Right. All right, so we've got, we're looking good here. Once you spread out so you got it as close to the edges as you can, like there's a little open piece right there. Yeah. Just try to spread it out. There is a lot of grease in here, and you want to not put grease on the shell, because it'll melt in. But you can use whole garlic cloves if you want. Use mushrooms. It's a blank canvas. Do whatever you want. All right. So once this is salt, pepper, garlic, onion. Right. So once just spread a little on, just yeah, just like that, and then on the other one too. All right. A little salt, pepper, garlic, and then might put a little. You want to put a little cheese on top? Or are we good with that cheese?
Let's put a little cheese.
All right. Yeah. So we'll put a little this Italian blend. This will melt nice and easy on top. All right. And we have what we'll do. This is some arugula that we'll put on one of the pizzas after it's cooked. Okay. Because you don't want to cook it, so it'll end up turning black.
Makes sense.
But it'll kind of steam and wilt. All right, so we've got our oven at 425.
All right.
And if you're ready, just go ahead and put them in.
All right.
And we got one.
All right.
And we got the other one coming up. All righty, here we go. All right, so we also have an auxiliary timer. Alexa, set a timer for 13 minutes.
13 minutes, starting now.
Just okay. Alexa, thank you.
You're so welcome. Your kindness really gives me a charge.
Oh, that's nice.
Happy Saturday.
Thank you. All right, so Zach will be. We got him in for 13 minutes, so we'll pull him out, and then this is Jack's. This is the one that we're using, but they're all pretty much the same. The cheap ones, $4 or $5 at the most. If you buy them in bulk, then I think it's, buy it for 15 or whatever. So we'll be right back. All right, Zach. So let's take a look here. Our timers has finished. Looking good. All right, just pull them out. Put them up on this. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, yeah, baby.
Smells
All
great.
right. All right, so what we'll do is we'll cut them over here on the cutting board. So why don't you grab one and then just slide it off onto the cutting board.
Yeah.
There you go. And just slide it over. There you go. All right. And leave that. Yeah, we're going to put it back on that. And if you put it over there, it'll cool off slightly.
Okay.
So grab the piece of cutter. It's over there. All right, so I cut it in, so let's go straight.
Okay.
And then one here, and then one here, and then ding, ding, ding. So go halfway.
All right.
All right. All right. And then,
right here.
yeah. I mean, this is an exact science, so we have to measure and get out the slide rule and stuff.
I like cutting it in squares. This makes sense.
All right. All right, and then straight across again.
All right.
Yeah, and then we'll do the... Yeah, so this is just, I think it's an easier way to eat it and also gives you a chance to have some smaller pieces so you don't feel like you have to eat a big one. All right, so this is the one we're going to put arugula on. So Zach, I'm going to give you this, and we're just going to top it. Actually, let's put it back. We'll put it back on the yeah. And once you grab one of those black spatulas just take it and we'll just put it right back in the same place.
Okay. I think it's gonna come apart.
Well, here, I'm not going to put this on camera, so we'll be right back. All right, so we put it back on the disc, and then Zach's going to put on just a little arugula on top, just kind of sprinkle it around like we did everything else, and it'll both look nice and add a little bit of flavor. And you don't want to toast these; you just want to get it on top. Okay, so I think we're ready to serve. So let's go over to the table and have a little pizza and beer.
Perfect.
All righty.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Excited.
All right, we're back, and this is our pizza that we doctored, or Jack's Pizza. So Zach, give us a little rundown on what we put on here.
Yeah, we doctored this up. We put some meat on it and some onions. We put some peppers on it and arugula, of course, with some garlic, salt, and pepper. Some extra cheese. Smells great. Looks delicious.
All right. So we also have some a little Parmesan. Since we're using frozen pizzas, I don't feel like we need freshly grated. I like oregano. And a little oregano. And then, of course, crushed red pepper. So, Zach, why don't you go ahead? Here.
Let's do it. Thank you, Charlie.
We'll
test it out.
absolutely. Here, I'll hold it. You grab it.
Oh, it looks good.
Let's get some arugula there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grab a couple. Here, I got it. And then, you got some arugula? It's important. All righty. And I'll put some on mine. Yeah, buddy. And you can see that the onions are just soft enough. They're not melting. And I'm going to put a little parm on mine. Here's a little, if you want that. Of course, got to have a little crushed red pepper. And I like oregano.
Absolutely.
All right. And because we're in Wisconsin, a little spotted cow.
Have to.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There we go. Spotted cow is a Wisconsin beer.
Tradition.
Can you drink beer before the pizza?
There's no rules to this,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do it. Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what we're telling them.
10 o'clock in the morning. But, all righty. Let's see what we got here.
Let's eat. Outstanding.
I like there's not enough sausage on the ones you get at the store, so that's why I like to put it on. And we use sweet Italian sausage.
Yeah.
And the arugula just adds a little peppery mix on top.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can have some beer.
Cheers.
So Zach was saying that he is definitely going to go next door to Riverfront Pizzeria and start doing these,
Present this to them and
Right.
see if we can start selling them.
right? Walking out the back door and people walking down the Riverwalk,
Yeah.
making say, hey, you want a pizza?
I think we have a new business together, Charlie.
It works for me. Gotta do something.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
Best 10 a.m. pizza I've ever had.
That's right. That's a great breakfast. So Zach, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was
Absolutely.
wonderful.
It was a lot of fun. That the list that Zach is on, 40 Under 40, is a great honor. It's our next generation of community leaders, and spotlighting people of the next generation trying to affect change here is nice. was we really like it. There's several lists like this, but this is one that focuses on the next generation. So do appreciate everyone's support. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for supporting Milwaukee Community Leaders.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.